there, Lindsey here. It's finally at the part of the day where the kitchen garden is not in the sun, but it has started to sprinkle a bit. So if it starts raining, we're gonna have to call this off. Ooh. I wanted to take you on a little tour of the kitchen garden today, just to see where we're at and what we're growing here in Arkansas, Zone 7B in July. So this mess is my kids' garden. I did have some volunteer sunflowers, one that I need to pull up, and then I planted these 4 o'clocks last year and they came back hot and heavy over here. I do have, down here I have some borage that's kind of been badly eaten. We do have one that is finally flowering, but those are actually edible. We've got some weeds too. On the vine back there, we've got some loofah growing, and we finally got some blooms coming on that, which we've been waiting for those. And my zinnias are still going strong. There's just some gorgeous, gorgeous colors in there. I like the pink to orange. I love those. Those are probably my favorite. But I need to stake up this tomato. I've got 2 cherry tomato plants here, which I've already picked all the ripe ones off. But these got hit really hard with the hornworms, so I've had to kind of let them recover a little bit. I need to pull these snap peas. And I also have a tomato here that needs to be staked up. And I've got some 4 o'clocks growing there. And of course here, they've been growing. Oh, here's my favorite zinnia. See if I can get her to focus. Just gorgeous. I know she's about to die. Like, she's almost at the end, but this one has been so beautiful. My herbs are not doing too great, and that's because I've been kind of ignoring them. But I've got my chocolate mint and thyme here with some lemongrass, and then my mint. I just need to really cut it back, and then it'll grow. It'll probably come back once I water this bed. This bed gets really dry, so I need to amend the soil here, and those may even come back this season. We'll see. So here in my tomato garden, I've got 2 trellises. These are my Black Prince tomatoes, I believe. I believe that's what these are. And then I've got some brandywines here, some brandywine pinks. These have already been producing and they taste delicious. I do have a little eating pepper there, but it's not looking too hot. I probably need to give it something. I did fertilize all these before it rained tonight, so maybe that'll help a little bit. Basil's doing terrible. This basil's doing kind of okay. It is really hot in Arkansas right now, guys. It's not only hot, but humid. And this garden gets blaring sun most of the day. So some of these leafy things are not faring too well. We did have a kind of a drought week. This is the first rain that we've gotten, and it's just little sprinkles, so it's not gonna do a whole lot for us. So I have watered the garden a couple times this week. Over here I have my tomato plants from Searching Sabrina. She gave me some German pink tomatoes and some Romas, and they are producing like crazy. They got lots and lots and lots of tomatoes on them. And then I've also planted some marigolds underneath, and 2 of those came up. I planted them kind of underneath each one. My dill, the cat got in all of everything. I had all of this planted, and it was all little seedlings, and the cat got in here and just tore everything up. So this is the dill that survived. Just a few little pathetic little sprigs. And I believe I figured out what's on this last trellis here. And these, I think, are the green zebra tomatoes. And then that would make these my big rainbows, which I haven't had any of these come ripe yet. And that would mean that on the back here I have some golden jubilees here, which some of those have kind of started to turn. This one especially is like a different color, so maybe it is a golden tomato, not sure. And then these are beefsteaks, and they're going crazy. They're all the way up to the top of the trellis. Pause for rain. We may have to wrap this up in the morning. We'll see. Okay, so it's a little bit later, a little bit more humid now that it's rained slightly. Everything's a little damp, but I'll show you the rest of it. And Jay's out here to help me because he's been messing with the squash bed. He knows what's going on in there. I don't right now because I've just given up.
This is weeds.
Everybody's got to have some weeds growing.
This is Lindsey's prized plant.
Do you think that's potato?
That she ordered, and I just come in here and just rip it up. That's Lindsey's prized plant right there. Gone.
No. Found a snake skin this morning in here. Woo! I had to make Jay come check on it because I was a little scared, but he said it looked like a regular snake, like the tail wasn't dangerous or anything, so whatever.
Whatever.
Sounds good to me. It could stick around as long as it's not gonna kill me. But these are all looking really sad. This is the yellow squash over here, the zucchini squash over here. Jason's been working on like getting the squash bugs out, but those vine borers are really what's killing us now. So yeah, she's not doing too good. We've gotten yellow squash off. We've gotten one zucchini, and I doubt we'll get any more. I mean, they're probably gonna get these before we can harvest anything else.
We got a bunch of little ones on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of little fruits.
First year we planted out here, we planted there.
Yeah.
We were overrun with zucchini and squash.
Yeah, this was our original zucchini and yellow squash bed, and we had more than we could eat and more than we could give away. And then the last couple years we've had them both there and here, and they've just done terrible. I don't know. But look, we've got little ones on it and some blooms, and those will be okay unless a vine borer gets the whole thing and it just goes to rot. We may actually harvest a couple more, but then they're probably gonna be gone. Don't you think?
Sure.
It's kind of our biggest area that we're having trouble with this year so far. We'll see.
That and the deer started attacking her.
Yeah, the deer started getting the row garden, but I'll take you out there in just a little bit. But this bed is currently empty. Jay weeded it for me. I need to amend the soil and I'll probably put some like winter squash in here and on one side, like I said, and then this other side I'll just preserve it for my lettuces that I'll be growing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna help.
But it's not time yet. And over here in this bed with my hibiscus that are finally starting to really bush out, I planted some saucer squash because I think I still have some time. We'll see. And then around the edge of the bed I did carrots, so we'll see if those come up. They take forever.
Wait a second. I thought you put thyme up there.
And in the final bed, my nasturtiums are looking really, really sad.
Yeah.
My verbena actually started looking really nice, and then the cat kind of half dug it all up. And then of course I had some Tom Thumb peas in here, and the cat dug all those up. So this has been replanted. I'm just waiting for those to come back out. I think I have some time left for that. Time? I have one little sad anise plant right there. My pepper bed is doing fantastic. All of the bell pepper are starting to come out. I've got my chocolate bells that are doing well. And then here I've got a bunch of jalapeno peppers here and here, and they're really starting to fruit now. And then I've got a cayenne, which has not made peppers yet, but I've got this Tabasco. I just think these are cool little ornamental, but this is a Tabasco plant, so I'll be making pepper sauce out of the hot peppers. So I just have one row of hot peppers and the rest are sweet bells. So we will be eating lots of bell peppers coming up pretty soon there, because I've got, oh yeah, cross our fingers anyway. I like to say that because you know, we have one plan for our garden and the pests have another, so it just depends on who wins. Finally, we've got our cucumber bed. I just fertilized these because they're kind of yellowing and spotty. We're trying to amend this and work on it. I've got some things to spray, and I just put some fertilizer, like I said, so we're gonna do that, but we're still getting 2 to 3 cucumbers off of this per day. So I'm really happy with this Market More variety cucumber. It really does produce better than any other cucumber I've ever planted. So I've got I planted seeds in the spaces in between so we can really fill this out. I guess I didn't plant enough plants. We'll just have to see if we have enough time for those cucumbers to grow before it starts getting cold. I'm sure that we do. Yeah, I know. We can't even think about the cold right now. We're in the heat of it. Jay's hornworm hunting now. We've gotten a ton of them off of it.
I'm not hunting, I'm observing. I won't hunt till tonight.
Yeah, he's been hunting them with a black light, flashlight, UV light, UV black light, whatever. And
words mean something.
Anyway, we've got lots of spiders in here, lots of beneficial insects I've been seeing. I've been seeing some ladybugs. Jay saw a praying mantis. So, oh, and hey, my 4 o'clock's bloomed out. I didn't get to show you earlier because it wasn't, you know, past 4 o'clock. But look, they bloomed out while we were inside. So now we get to see how pretty they are. Aren't they cool? Oh, and just an update on the Queen Lime zinnias that I got from Baker Creek Seeds. I did have one that actually looks decent. So, I mean, this one doesn't look too bad. It's still kind of dull, but, I mean, that's kind of what they're supposed to look like. That's more of what I expected, but these are just so bright that they just, look at that. And then you look at that and you're like, those are dull. So maybe it's just what I have them next to, but the first few blooms on it just did not look good. But that one's getting there, so maybe as they bloom out, they'll get better. Anybody else grow the Queen Lime variety of zinnias? Let me know if that's true, if they get better as they grow out, because I don't know, I'm a little curious to see. I did cut some of these and I took in a cut flower arrangement for the kitchen. I think I'm going to replace the zinnias, you know, every few days or so. I've got plenty that are blooming out, so that'll be a nice little treat for us to have and enjoy these inside too. We're going to go try to visit the row garden before it gets entirely too dark. This morning we harvested a ton of okra and purple hull peas from this garden. We had lots of okra and peas to harvest. So Jay got up early and helped me do that. Yay, Jay! And we also watered out here, so then it came a rain, but whatever, the garden can always use. He did. Jay got up earlier than me. I had a hard time because my daughter doesn't sleep at night.
Well, it's been rained, not sat out here in the sun all day.
Yeah. This is our waste. I'm sure something will take care of that. Maybe it'll take care of that instead of our garden. But out here we've had some issues with some chewing of our sweet potato vines. I hear once the ends of the vine starts turning yellow, you're ready to harvest your sweet potatoes. But I'm gonna give them a little bit longer. We do have a little bit of yellowing in here, but it's almost time to replant them. So I'm not sure if we're going to or not. This might be enough harvest. Jay only eats sweet potatoes kind of one way, and that's roasted, which that's my favorite way to eat them anyway, so that's okay.
I eat them one way. That's if you cook them. I don't eat no other woman's sweet potatoes.
Well, no. That's where our sweet potato vines are, just in that. But we also had all these volunteer pumpkins. Check out the size of these monsters. Look at this. That's gonna be a big old melon. These were all volunteer watermelon vines, and we've got tons of watermelons on those big ones. What's funny is these produced 0 watermelon last year. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but I've also got my kajaris here. These are the kajari melons. Now they're still little, but something's been eating on them too. That's why all these sticks are up. But there's some under there. But these are supposed to do good in like drought climates, really hot climates. So we'll see how that goes. We've got a ton of them on here. We probably should have cut some off. This one has some blossom end rot on it, so that just means probably it was either lack of nutrients or lack of water. Probably not lack of water this season, huh? Last year I had a lot of trouble with blossom end rot, and it was because it was so hot and we didn't have a whole lot of water last year. We didn't have a way to really a good way to water this. So we've kind of remedied that this year. And we got some soaker hoses, and that's been the best way. While we're out here working, we just put the soaker hoses on a few rows. We can do 4 rows at a time. So we'll just put it on there, and then when we get ready to go in, we'll switch it to the next rows and go in for a while and then turn it off. So it's been great. I harvested all of our onions. They didn't do so well. Oh, I missed one. Missed one. They didn't do so good because the weeds kind of took over, and I'll show you in a minute, but we do have a lot of weeds out here. We have a problem with that. So these are all the weeds. All those weeds. We didn't even get this part planted. I know that a lot of you have never tasted okra or even seen it, so I wish the blossoms were out. They only come out in the morning. But I'll just show you what our okra looks like. Very, very tall. It gets taller, but this is about where it gets. Maybe it'll get a little bit taller, but this is what okra looks like growing. We got ours a little close together. You can't really see our rows, but it's really good, nice, healthy okra.
Fancy pants too.
Y'all, Jay over here making fun of my pants. It's wash day. I'm having laundry. This is an okra blossom, and it looks a lot like a hibiscus. It comes out in the mornings. Once these are done, the okra will start from here. So this bloom will fall off and get fuzzy, and then it'll look like this, and that is a finished okra. They're really good, but they might just be really good to me because I grew up eating them. I don't know, but I really enjoy them. So we have 4 rows of that. We planted entirely too much, and we're trying to share as much as possible. So here we have 3 rows of purple hull peas, which we are also harvested this morning, but we were really tired, so of course we skipped some. But this is kind of what these are looking like. I'll definitely be planting just the same amount next year because we have enough, but the bees love these. The bees are all over these. That little lighter thing there is the flower. We came out here at dusk the other day and there were just bees all over them, our bees. Because we can, our bees were all over them. They love them. So we'll definitely be planting those again. Last year I had 2 short rows of purple hull peas, and they were on the outside of the garden. The deer love them, so they ate them up before I could even harvest any. So I'm really excited to have so many to harvest this year and to share. 3 rows of cantaloupe and 2 rows of watermelon. Now it's a big patch. That's kind of what it does. But these are our hearts of gold cantaloupe. There's lots growing. I need to thin this out and take some of the fruit off, but we'll see if I can get to that. Then there's some watermelon over there, and they're the dark sugar baby watermelons. We did try to cut one last week, and it was not yet ripe. So I think that it smells so good out here. I can kind of smell melons. I think Jay just busted one. I love the smell of a busted melon, whether they're ripe yet or not. They smell so good. But yeah, they're not quite ripe yet, so we're gonna let those go. Usually when the little spindly thing on the vine is brown and kind of pulled back, that's when it's ripe. But this one didn't have one, so I'm thinking something might have eaten it or something like that. It fell off. It wasn't anything normal. My last ditch effort here, I have a row of yellow squash and a row of zucchini squash. I'm really crossing my fingers that nothing will find it out here and that I'll end up getting some zucchini, because I love to shred my zucchini and put it in the freezer and have zucchini bread all year long. And I just like zucchini. I love it. I've had some yellow squash. It's great and all, but zucchini's my favorite. The tomato plants out here, I have 10 left. They're not doing so hot. Jay's found some hornworms. We're gonna look for some tonight. We've got tomatoes. We do have tomatoes on them. Those there are cherry, and then I've got some beefsteaks, and I may have some big rainbows out here. But we've been finding some hornworms, so we're gonna come out here tonight. Some of them are tied up, some of them are just on the ground. This is kind of my experiment this year. I've never planted tomatoes out here, so I wanted to see if it would be easy or difficult to do, and just see what happens when you don't pin up tomatoes. These were all extra plants anyway, but there's some there. And I found a big hornworm on this earlier today, but you can see it's got some eatage there. But we're gonna find them and it'll be all right. We'll probably end up getting some tomatoes off of there anyway. But it's getting very dark. I know it doesn't look that dark on the camera, but it's getting pretty dark, so I better head on up to the house so I'll be able to see to get out of here and not step on a snake friend. I want to thank you so much for coming over and hanging out in the garden for a little bit and letting me show you what's growing in Arkansas, Zone 7B, in July. And by next month I'll probably have been melted and I'll just be a big melted pile on the road there because it's already getting to me. The heat's killing me. But I can't wait to chat with you guys in the comments. Let me know how your garden's going, how your garden's growing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.